Good afternoon. It's December 1st, Saturday today. And I've decided to just kind of show you a little bit of what I've been doing today. I got up pretty early and worked on editing a video, the November favorites video that I had filmed a couple of days ago, and just wasn't feeling well yesterday, so I didn't really have a chance to get around to doing that, but I did that this morning, which took way longer than I wanted it to, as usual. But then I also watched a few different people, their first Vlogmas day one videos, and I've kind of felt like, you know, maybe I can do this, you know, or at least in my own way. So that's what we're doing here. So I posted my first one, is already up today, and you'll have to just excuse my really attractive hairstyle. It's pretty bad, actually. I just whatever, threw it up out of my way. But so then I got up and I was organizing. I got a new shelf for kind of my work space area, so to have a lot of my shop tools, and then also just some art supplies and stuff. And I needed a place to put my printer and a few other things when I get those squared away. So I was kind of sorting out paintbrushes and pens and pencils and getting those kind of into jars and mugs, and kind of figuring out where everything is going to go. So I can show you that if you're interested. So this is what the shelf itself looks like. There's a few boxes around still, don't mind those. But so I'm planning to put the printer up here. This is my empty beer can from the Metallica concert I went to, which obviously is a little keepsake of mine. This is for a project I'm going to be working on soon. I'll show you that when I get to it. So I'm planning to, put the printer up here and another similar tool on this side, possibly. But those are things I haven't purchased yet. And then down here, I'm going to have, you know, a lot of different paper products. So I've got kind of cards, plain, you know, cardstock cards and greeting cards and stuff like that. And down here is just a bunch of boring important papers, different business stuff, and some notebooks on this side. This isn't even close to the amount of notebooks that I own, but here's some of them. And then I also have over on this side some sketchbooks, and also my coloring books. So, and one of them isn't in here because I've been working on it recently, but it's my Harry Potter one. But then I've got a few others here, like the Game of Thrones one, or this Fantastic Beasts one, which I think I recently showed one that I had colored. Here it is. These two. They're pretty cute. I had gotten this for Christmas a couple years ago. And I haven't done very many of them, it looks like, but I like to do them. I think there was one, a Picket one, that I had done, or at least started. Maybe not. My color swatches. Yeah, so this is just kind of a fun book. What the heck? There he is. Okay. So there's this one I did in colored pencil, and the other one I did with my Tombow brush pens. This one. So there's that. I also have, I'll show you this Game of Thrones one as well. It's really pretty cool. All of the photos are drawing pages are super detailed and cool looking. I think I've only done one from this one too. Oh yeah, this one of Sansa. Pretty cool. That one I did in colored pencil too, I believe. Okay, this is hard to do with one hand. Oh my gosh, wow. This is the biggest struggle that I've ever had to deal with probably in my life. There we go. Okay. Moving on. This is just a bunch of little art supplies that I have up here. It's not fully organized yet, but I have, this is my kind of traveling case of all my colored pencils, which are in here, which is really nice to have. It just like rolls up and then you can like roll it out. Then it's obviously organized like this. So you can see all the colors. That's really nice to have for like grabbing this if I'm going somewhere, like, and I know I'm gonna have a chance to work on it. It's just nice to be able to bring that easily. And they all fit in those little elastic straps or whatever. So in here I just have this like little Stranger's Thing mug. I used to have this in my shop, but the shipping and whatever on this mug, internationally especially, just got to be so expensive that it just like wasn't even worth it. Like the price that I would have had to ask for it in order to cover the shipping costs was just like crazy. So unfortunately that is not available anymore, but I just like it's kind of like a simple little like minimal sort of Stranger Things mug. And then I've got kind of pencils, my Faber-Castell pens in here, scissors, random pens and pencils. And then in this one I have paintbrushes, and in the back one I have these mild liners, a bunch of different colors of those. I don't really use them anymore, and I don't really use my Muji pens either, but this is kind of my colorful pens and highlighters or markers or whatever area. Then I've got my trusty old box of crayons that I've had since I was a wee small child. My mom bribed me to stop biting my nails by saying, oh wait, this is actually my mom's one. What the heck? I obviously wrote that when I was a kid. So we each got a set for ourselves. And anyway, she had said if I stopped biting my nails, she would buy me the box of crayons, the 64 pack of Crayolas. And boy, you best believe I stopped biting my nails right away. I wonder where my actual one is. Now that I look at this, like hers is in a little bit better shape, the actual like box and stuff. And mine was a little bit more roughed up. So in here, you may have seen I just took this out of here, this basket, but I have my watercolors there, along with, these are the three kind of notebooks that I use often. This is my reading journal. It's a moleskin kind of Hobbit edition or whatever, just like kind of the usual deal, but that one's nice. And then this is, I think, also a moleskin, like the soft cover one. And then this is the official bullet journal in black. So those are just kind of the notebooks I wanted to have handy because I use them a little bit more often than any others. And then in here I've got a different pack of colored pencils that my brother gave me for Christmas a couple of years ago, and they're like a double-sided pencil. So this is another one that's good to just like grab quickly for like traveling or anything like that, because it's double-sided, so it's even not as big as this large roll. So if I just kind of feel like bringing some along to do some coloring or drawing or whatever, it's easy to grab that. And then in here I have, in this basket, my Tombow dual brush pens. I just have 2 sets. So they come, like, you can buy them individually or you can buy them all of them. I think there's something like 96 different colors in the full set, but you can also get a set of like 10 And I have the portrait one, so it's kind of like different skin tones and maybe like some hair color ones. And then the other one I have is the secondary colors, so kind of like these more, not, you know, not quite as bright as like the primary ones. So stuff like that, these, which I like. And I'm planning to probably get a few more, like possibly the landscape set, because I really don't have any blues, and I would like to have at least a few of those, as well as some grays, because those are kind of the colors that I'm lacking at the moment. But that's what's in there. And then I just have a few rolls of washi tape and some like scrapbooky type, or actually I use this to make cards, greeting cards and stuff. And then I have like a travel pen case, a few other travel size notebooks and sketchbooks. And then these actually are from some members of my family have a shop called Cute Kaboom, and Ink Pig is one of their characters. Let's see if this will focus at all. And these are some of their washi tapes that they sell in their shop. So I can include a link to their shop if you're interested in getting some of those for yourself. Or there's some other products they have too, like notebooks and other like school or work or desk supplies. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And then down here is all open, but I think what I'll end up putting in this area is probably gonna be some, like, I put the shelves kind of on their highest setting, so you can kind of see that they're like shorter than the bottom ones. And I did that because I wanted to be able to put like possibly some different smaller shelves within this bottom piece to kind of help me organize some of the products that I will be storing in here, either for like the just to have like inventory made, but also the some of the materials that I'll be using, I'm planning to keep here, as well as packing materials in this area. So that's kind of how that is going to look. It's kind of a work in progress still. It's not the most organized. I still have a bunch of papers in here that I need to sort out and get filed. But it's coming together. I'm pleased with how it kind of will be laid out. And I'm excited to get some of the materials and some of that other shelving I talked about, as well as the printer, so I can get set up and start trying to kind of pull that all together. But yeah, that's what I've been kind of working on this afternoon. And then I was also, I had Sorcerer's Stone on in the background, of course, while I was doing some of that stuff, which is always fun. And then I also had, you can probably see over my shoulder, a little snack of a baguette with peppercorn brie. Pretty fantastic. And then I also had with that one of my favorite sort of fall or winter treats, which is I just take like a spiced cider. And sometimes I need to, you know, it depends on kind of the type that you get, because sometimes it's not flavorful enough. And in that case, I just kind of either sprinkle in some cinnamon or pumpkin pie spice or something like that. And then also, so heat that up, and just with like a tiny splish splash of bourbon. I've been using Maker's Mark because I happen to have an enormous amount on hand. But whatever you like is great. But that's a really delicious treat for this time of year, I find. So that's kind of what my Saturday has been like so far. I think I'm probably going to sit down and read for a little while. I need to edit some photos later, or did I already do that? I don't even remember. Maybe I already did that. I need to post something on my Instagram. That's what I need to do. And then I also want to continue reading Chamber of Secrets. I'm hoping that I will finish that this weekend. So let's hope I don't fall asleep doing that. But especially since I've had like a tiny bit of bourbon. Now I feel like that's definitely going to happen. But we'll see. And then I also need to, I was going to probably do some yoga later. I've been working on doing one of yoga with Adrienne, her 30 days of yoga thing. I think I'm doing the one from 2015 right now. I had done last year's over the summer, but just like kind of with moving and all of that just hasn't, been a habit for me anymore. But I'm going to do that later and probably make some dinner and enjoy the rest of the day. Probably watch a movie tonight. So maybe if I remember, I'll try to show you some of that. And if I don't remember, I'll see you later on. As expected, I fell asleep reading Chamber of Secrets, and when I woke up and opened my eyes and looked outside, there's like a blizzard going on, basically. It's coming down like pretty, it's hard to say hard about snow because it's just little snowflakes, but pretty, I don't know, thick. Also, my brain is like broken from being asleep right now. Or like I can't think properly. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It looks really pretty though. So I just watched The Man Who Invented Christmas with Dan Stevens as Charles Dickens. And that was pretty good. I liked it. I hadn't seen it before. And I think it came out like around this time last year, if I remember right. And I'd heard good things about it, but just watched it for myself and I enjoyed it. And of course, I then had to start the Muppet Christmas Carol because, I just had dinner as well while I was watching that. I did soup with some was it like a seafood chowder type of soup? It was really good. Then I had more of that bread and cheese that I was eating earlier with it, which was fabulous. And I think I will say goodnight for this vlog because I probably am just going to watch this and then probably read more of Chamber of Secrets and then go to bed because I think it's like 7:30 or almost 8 maybe now. So I'm sure I'll, fall asleep in about 2 seconds reading, but the snow looks really pretty still. It's kind of windy, so some of it has blown off of the tree branches, but not very much of it actually. It still looks really magical and pretty, so that's nice. And then tomorrow I'm having brunch at one of my favorite places with a good friend of mine, and that's pretty much all I have planned for the day outside of just a few things kind of around the house and just try to relax a little before going back to work on Monday. So I will see you tomorrow. Good night.